Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Willow's Weather Briefing. Today is Monday, May 26, 2025. Sorry with the change in production quality, if you would call it that. I'm currently at an internship and I do not have my own space to record, and setting up my entire setup is very cumbersome, but we're going to try our best here. So today we have an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms, primarily for hail and wind across central Texas. This includes Abilene, Killeen, and San Angelo. We also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall from central Texas to the mid-south. And also we have excessive heat, the last day of excessive heat, in fact, for quite a while in southern Texas, but heat will persist in areas such as the Florida Panhandle. We're also looking at some excessive heats late this week in areas such as the Central California Valley and into the Great Basin regions. Right now, we have a ton of rainfall and storms all across the central United States, and another disturbance coming into the western United States. And as you can see, this cluster of storms is currently making its way slowly eastward and dropping a lot of rainfall in these areas. So here's our storm reports from yesterday. This enhanced risk over here in and around the Texas Panhandle in North Texas. A few tornadoes in this area, but primarily very, very large hail, up to 5 inches in these areas, possibly up to 6 inches in these areas. So definitely verified with the hail risk and sporadic tornadoes. So great forecast by the SPC for yesterday. We also had a MCS, a mesoscale convective system, that went through the southeast, and enhanced risk was issued there for wind. So a large swath of wind reports there. Here is our drought monitor. The solid lines demarcate the areas of most concern for drought. Here are our current watches and warnings. We have a broad swath of flood watch in and around the Texarkana area, all the way up towards southeastern Kansas, down towards central Texas, and a few flash flood warnings associated with the ongoing convection, and some spotty severe thunderstorm warnings as well here in northern Louisiana and southwestern Mississippi. Other than that, pretty quiet across the United States. A couple of special weather statements here in the Northeast and southern Texas regions, but overall fairly quiet across the United States today. So right now we have these training thunderstorms currently making its way across the stationary front, causing high flood risk for these located in the hatched red region. We also have severe thunderstorms possible today in central Texas all the way up towards northern Louisiana in these areas too. This is all due to this surface low pressure system. We've been seeing it a lot of subtle disturbances, upper level disturbances, causing some cyclogenesis on this stationary front that's meandering around here. It's been meandering around here for a while, causing our severe weather in the central to southern plains region, and also our flash flooding risk downstream of those storms. Day 2, this stationary front remains the same. A couple of disturbances as well moving through there. And then we have spotty severe thunderstorm threats and flash flooding threats for tomorrow as well. And on Wednesday, we finally have a primary surface disturbance dominating this area and causing a cold front to sweep across the southeast. And this will cause widespread rainfall, but also, more importantly, very much needed heat relief for a lot of the southeastern United States. That includes areas such as South Texas and southern Louisiana, who have seen excessive heat much above average for this time of year for quite a while now, for a week or two at this point. Here is our excessive rainfall outlook. We have a slight risk of excessive rainfall from central Texas to the mid-south. Of course, ongoing rainfall is helping support this risk around the ArkLaTex region. Totals might reach up to 3 to 4 inches, especially around the I-35 corridor over to the ArkLaTex region. This is sort of the main area that we're focusing on for excessive rainfall, but the confidence in specific areas is a little bit too less to really preclude a moderate risk in this area. So we also might have localized totals of greater than 5 inches in these regions, particularly over here. This includes cities like Austin, Texas, up towards Dallas, Fort Worth, that I-35 corridor, up to the ArkLaTex region. Day 2, we have multiple pockets of slight risk regions with varying rainfalls. Of least concern is probably this area of slight risk. We have 1 to 3 inches progged for this area, and that is, of course, caused by some convection moving through the area, but your precipitable waters, your high moisture content in the atmosphere is going to be down here. We're expecting pockets of 2 to 4 inches plus of rain in these areas due to training convection. Day 3, marginal risk across the dry line here in the central to southern plains and also in the deep south. This is Wednesday. Day 4, marginal risk over here in Texas, Louisiana on Thursday. On Friday, marginal risk across the Gulf Coast on Friday. No fire weather outlook for today or in the future. We have a day 1 convective outlook, enhanced risk in areas of central Texas. Again, just to reiterate, such as Abilene, Killeen, San Angelo. This is mainly for a significant hail risk. We'll look into the models just a little bit here in a second, but big hail is expected. Yesterday we had like 5+ inches. We expect kind of a similar story today in these areas, possibly gigantic hail in these regions. Also a secondary 30% 30% non-hatched risk for similar areas. Tornado risk is going to remain fairly low, especially since our low-level shear isn't that much. And yesterday, most of our tornadoes were actually formed off the lieu of storm interactions, and here the spatial coverage of storms isn't even going to be that great, so I believe our tornado threat is probably a bit lower than yesterday. Here is our heat risk map. Here, heat continues in areas such as southern Texas and the Florida Panhandle, especially in the Florida Panhandle areas that are urbanized. Again, I've been talking about the urban heat island effect, little relief overnight in terms of heat. And as we move forward, we finally get that heat relief that we need because of that sweeping cold front going through the area. But as a result of this, Florida heat is going to hang on a little bit throughout the mid to late week, but even Florida won't have a chance to cool down a little bit. In lieu of this, we have an increasing heat risk over here in the west due to a building ridge in this area. Temperatures over here in the Central Valley to Great Basin are expected to reach highs up to the mid to high hundreds. Areas like Sacramento, Fresno, Redding, California could see temperatures in the mid to high hundreds. And even areas in the Great Basin, typically we see, of course, high temperatures in these deserted regions, still above average for you guys over there. But this heat isn't expected to be long-lived, only for Friday and Saturday we're looking at, and by Sunday the heat should diminish quite a bit throughout this region and slowly migrate east to areas such as Utah and also areas of the Intermountain West. Our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, May 31st to June 4th, above average for much of the northern United States and below average for a bit of the eastern to southern United States, and still above average for the peninsula of Florida. Our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, we have above average for most of the western United States and below average for much of the eastern United States. So let's take a look at our modeling today. Let's actually go back to 0Z. Hopefully our internet cooperates. Right now I'm using a hotspot because I don't have my usual recording set up. But as you can see here, we see robust convective development here in central Texas at around perhaps 2 p.m. And then that translates a bit east. A little bit less convective coverage than we saw yesterday, which is why I said the tornado threat due to storm interactions is a bit lower today. But we could see still isolated tornadoes, especially early on in the convective evolution of the system. So yeah, as I said, around 19Z, which is about 2 p.m., we should see convective development along west central Texas, and that will move eastward as time goes on. And also will grow more upscale, more convective coverage as time goes on as well. So unfortunately, I can't go through any modeling because my internet's just simply too slow. So we'll have to withhold on any modeling analysis until I am done here with my internship. And hopefully that won't be too big of a deal for everyone watching. But again, we hope to get back to regularly scheduled programming in about 10 weeks when I'm done. So I still thank you guys for watching. If you have any constructive criticisms, please leave them in the comments below. And I appreciate your support. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy these weather briefings. And of course, if you want any specific information regarding your area, please refer to your local broadcast or National Weather Service meteorologists. Thank you and have a great day.